Today it's 7th of February 2021, and let's have a look at Bitcoin. Bitcoin has been in a retracement for few days. About it's come down a little bit, 2,000 something from $40,000 level. Well, I thought I was going to discuss a theme which I think is very useful when you try to time entries early. And this is divergence I'm talking about. I'm also using the Ichimoku clouds here because they are just excellent tool to understand when something is changing. Instead of using just levels, let's say a trend line or a parallel line, something like that, resistance lines, which can be sort of, I don't know, murky. I don't know. I think it's just a much better tool to use Ichimoku to understand when things are turning around into the positive territory. So let's see. But using divergence is the main idea with this particular video I'm doing today. So I thought I was going to start here all the way down to the 5-minute chart. So here we can see we have a downtrend, moving down, low highs, and then we reach this bottom here. And this is a yearly pivot, by the way. It's a major pivot. So we have a small dip below, but we can see the indicator here, the MACD indicator, doesn't make a lower low while the price is. So we have a high low here actually. So this is a bullish divergence. Very simple, easy to see, and I like to use the MACD indicator for this purpose. You can use RSI and other indicators, oscillators of that type, but I really like MACD. Always used it for this purpose. So we are really early on here. We can see trend has turned bullish because price has broken above the cloud, and we have also a positive future here. Now we have the SMA 200 also, and it's flattening out here. So let's see if price can break above this level here and then sort of turn this moving average around to start moving upwards. So the question is how it looks on higher time frames, and I thought it's very interesting here on the 50-minute chart, because here we have a little bit more price action compact in this chart, and this is also very instructive to show you why Ichimoku cloud is such a beautiful indicator. I mean, you really don't need anything else than an oscillator like MACD. You need a long-term trend line. I also use these pivot points, but yeah, they are sort of an additional tool to find confluence resistance, basically. And there are other ideas about using pivots, but anyway, so we can see price came back here from the 40,700 level, reached the cloud, the top, broke inside, tried to break above again, and did fall back, and then it went for the lower part of the cloud, and then it broke below with a strong candle here, and we had a bearish cross here. So this is a very quick sort of a 50-minute chart. It's not really, it's very erratic if you only look at this chart. But I have to say, Bitcoin, in comparison to, for instance, Forex, it has much more clean motion and movement. It's moving much more in a sort of a beautiful way for a technician, I would say, my experience. While Forex, for instance, is very choppy, very difficult to trade, even with technicals. So we have this movement down here from that level down to here. You see also, this is so instructive, you know. You wonder, why would I use pivot points? You know, I can use trend lines. So yeah, well, you can use trend lines, but if you understand why people use pivot point, you have it here, for instance. This is a typical. This is a place where the bigger traders, the ones with usually whales, we call them, institutions, that type of traders that are used to pivots. They use pivots because they are just used, you know, been used for a long time, used regularly, and they also work for that purpose. So here you have a first touch of obviously people shorting here, taking profits here, and then you have buyers coming in and buying from this level. S1 is the standard level for a retracement in a bullish trend. So, well, I mean, that's the low end of a retracement in a bullish trend, and price shouldn't really break below that and hold. So if we're down to S2, then we're sort of in a more deeper bearish trend. But here we have we're swapping to bearish trend altogether, right? So, but now we see price come up here, like that, came into the cloud, tested the upper cloud. You see how clean this is. This is a clean cut here, up here, testing the upper end of this. And then we came down, we tested the lower part here, we came up here, tested again. You can see it's going inside here, and this is called neutral trend when it's trading inside the cloud. So we have a breakout here, and then we move below these two pivots here, and all the way down to this yearly here we had. Now this looks heavy. You might say, well, we took out this. This looks very bearish. You know, we're going to keep going down. Maybe we are. But my point here, if we're going to look at the divergence, so we have this low here, and then we have this quite more significant low here. But the indicator doesn't really come down to this level or below it, which would be the normal in a when there is participation in this move down. So we're lacking participation, we're lacking strength here. The bears are running out of steam, as we say, and that's reflected in this divergence. It could be more sharp, the divergence, but it's still a divergence here. You know, we see we're running out of steam here. So this could be actually be the end of the correction right here. We see very early on, because we're on the 15-minute chart, so we're very early on down into the sort of microscopic level, let's say, looking at the technicals here. But yeah, it all starts in the little and then it grows. So I like this. I scaled in a little. I bought some here just because I think it's a good worth while to buy Bitcoin while it's moving down. And if you're going to buy some portions when it moves down, I think it's good to do it when you see divergence on bullish divergence on the shorter time frames. You know, the sub-hourly time frames in this case, yeah. And if I'm lucky here, well, I'm catching the bottom or near the bottom. Maybe we come back here again. Maybe we have another sort of a twist here with even more. Sometimes it will look like this. We have a slump down here. We come all the way down here maybe, but still the indicator is going to make a higher high here after a bearish cross coming down and not taking out this one. That's three in a row is quite common, but let's see how it plays out here. So we have this situation here. So trend is still bearish using the Ichimoku cloud system. Nothing to argue about there. So if you're using that particular system only, you will of course wait for a break above So you can by using a little bit more cautious, being more cautious here, you can actually wait for a break above the cloud and wait for the future here to turn bullish, with a cross twist here, and then enter. Of course, you lose something here. You lose about almost $1,000 worth here, so it could be worth thinking about moving in a little bit earlier actually here. Um, yeah, and then we have a SMA 200. It's sort of flat here, starting to perk up. Yeah, starting to look a little bit exhausted, this move down. So let's see how it will play out. But I'm a bit I really like this situation from a divergence point of view. Yeah, we can have a look at the hourly to see how it looks. So here we have a situation where there is no divergence here. We have making a low here. Um, this may look very bearish. I mean, you can see price is hesitating here by the cloud. You can almost feel that it will punch it and then move boom like that down. Could be, but I think that perhaps we are still ready here. That's my take on it, looking at the lower time frames. Yeah, so just to add something here which is also of interest, and that is this. I'm going to show you this. So here you have the MACD indicator making a low here, right here. It goes up. Now this is a healthy top here. This one, no bearish divergence here, but we're taking out this top. We're moving above it. And then we have this very sharp move down with the indicator like that. And you can see it moving in two waves, and it's coming below this bottom here. This is called hidden bullish divergence. This here, this oversold phase here, comparison to this one. So this is actually a hidden bullish divergence. It's good to know. So if I would be a little bit more patient, and I'm just sort of, I didn't buy any big here, but I bought a little bit just to, it was so tempting. But I mean, you could basically wait for a bullish cross here. You can wait for this MACD cross here, and hopefully price will then be inside of the cloud, and then you will be also early on in this race to get into Bitcoin a little bit early, so you're not buying up here later when it's sort of done down here. So that's my take on it. Well, you might still argue, well, we're bearish here, we're trading in under the cloud, this looks heavy, it's looking heavy. Well, how does it look on the 4-hour chart, for instance? Have a look at that. Look at this. This is the 4-hour chart. We have a bearish cross here. Well, it is what it is. There's no bearish divergence between these two tops, not even with this one. So this is a healthy move up, healthy correction. There was still a lot of participation here at this top. So now we're going down, and as you see here, we're way above the cloud. We needed to get close to the cloud, basically. Just a correction here, basically. Doesn't look dramatic at all. So if you're even a little bit more long-term in for it, and have more patience, of course you can wait for the MACD to turn around, make a bottom here, and make its cross somewhere. So this is all very, but I was just going to show you how you can enter quite early if you want. And if you're going to use the good old trend lines here, let's see, let's draw a trend line here. So you can actually create a trend line here. I'm going to take away this Fibonacci retracement because they're just messing it up. I should have done it before. Yeah, so we have also have a trend line here. Looks like we have a bounce. We have like three healthy bounces. Yeah, so it looks pretty decent there to use that also as a sort of an entry point in combination with the divergence on the 50-minute chart which I showed. So it's really on the hourly chart it looks a little bit grim, but yeah, let's see how it turns out. You can see it's starting to perk here, the MACD indicator, and yeah, let's see what happens here. It's sure it's a twist here. Sure we're below. I would say if you are bearish here, you should wait for this test, price coming back, breaking this trend line, and closing about below this level here. Somewhere down here, I would say. We'll keep moving down. Yeah, that would be a short if you can short. But then of course we will have this price meeting this SMA 200 coming up here, moving average. So there's a lot of hurdles for a bear here to try to play a downside. I mean, it's really not very healthy to do. It's probably a good way to, you know, lose your money. I wouldn't do it. Just instead thinking about how you can enter again and get in early. So that's my take on it. I hope I've helped someone understanding the concept of divergence here, and also actually use the lower time frames to fine-tune entries, which I like. I like the fine-tuning. You can always, if there is bearish divergence, which we have here on the 15-minute charts, there is usually a bounce where you can actually monitor the stop and you can sort of protect it. But yeah, still, if price comes down here, you need to have a look at which participation we have here. If the indicator is actually taken out this low and we have a break here, well, then of course we will probably go lower and this will last a little bit longer. But as of now, it looks like we are about to end the correction. That's what it looks like. Yeah, thanks for watching.